I don't know, it's been a while, but the current talking about the Switch in 2021, uh, new console coming out, or a revised console coming out. It's got me talking about it got me wanting to talk about Switch Pro or Switch 4K or a home only Switch. I I am still leaning towards a home only Switch. And I know people talking about a better screen, and I get that. I get that. But I don't really think that's the big new system. I said this before that when hackers got into the files of the new update for the Switch 10.0, they found two systems, a dual screen and a home only. I believe the home only console is what we're probably going to see here first. I think we was probably supposed to see this actually before Christmas. But since the COVID-19 effect is going on, I don't know. We actually might see two consoles actually come out. Maybe that's what we might be seeing. And I kind of do feel like it's too soon to really see this double screen system coming out. I could be wrong. But I'm saying tax time is probably when we're going to be seeing this new Switch. And it would make sense that whatever's going to cost the most probably would come out during that time. But I feel like home only console is what Nintendo's going to want to push towards consumers, because they want to get more consoles out there, and people buying more software off these consoles, and they know that people will buy multiple Switch consoles, even though they already have one. They'll buy the Lite, but I think we may see more than just more things going on with the Switch than just a new console. And what I really mean is, we'll see a new console, but we'll see Switch Lite and the Switch revised again. The Switch will go through a third revision. And the reason why I say that is because let's see, Inverse has said Nintendo Switch Pro will be a TV only console, won't be played in portable mode, and it will use the NVIDIA Tegra Xavier processor, which is in the current NVIDIA Shield. And it produces 4K now. So if Nintendo did what they did with the Lite, when they created the Lite, they made the Lite with a new processor. And instead of buying this new processor just for the Lite and buying another processor for the dockable Switch, it was better for them to buy just the bulk of one processor instead of buying two. So they put the processor they had idea for the Lite into the original Switch, and it made it have better battery life. Now, what I'm getting at is, instead of buying that processor and a new processor for a home only Switch to run 4K, they would just simply buy one processor and then put it in all current Switches, I would assume. If it will fit in a Lite, they would buy it for Lite if it will fit in a Lite. I'm not saying it will. I ain't even studied all that. But You get my idea. They might figure a way to make it fit. And the reason why you would put it in the light is not so you will have 4K, but just for everything to run smooth and frame rate. Now there's talk about a new screen, but I don't think this new screen is something going to be in this new Switch model. If this new Switch model causes the original Switch to be revised for a new processor, then yes, they may revise it for a new screen. Not necessarily making it a new Switch, a new version of the Switch, but just a better performance and better visual of the original Switch. And yeah, why not do a light that's better? I mean, it makes sense, you know. But I really think the focus of this Switch, this home only Switch, is going to be for the consumer that wants that better looking graphics. They're going to want this better look, and you know, probably just say this, that they're not going to put Joy-Cons with it and put a Pro controller. You know, still be able to use them, but just won't be there on its release. I think this is a step forward, and this double screen Switch may be a year later from now. It may actually be next year at Christmas. And I will say that this Switch, home Switch, was probably supposed to be released this year. It was supposed to be released this Christmas. I say that it was supposed to be, and COVID and not being able to push the sales of the current Switch models hurt the release, because yes, they had problems sending switches over here, importing them over here, but I don't think that hurt them on what they had in stock. I think that they probably, what we got this Christmas is a lot of shipment that just didn't get out. And Nintendo's probably been making, new stuff, probably these new revised Switches. They've probably been making them and just hadn't released them. And they want to release those, in February and March. But the home only Switch didn't get out this year because they wanted to get old stuff sold before they put out new stuff. And all this makes sense, because when the Switch Lite came out, the revised Switch came out, what was it, a week later or the exact same time? I remember that. It was very close. So they definitely don't want to release nothing too new. And I recently bought a new Switch. I used to do the mobile gaming stuff. Set up little LAN parties for birthday or, Halloween and different things I was doing for. But I picked up this one. And this is, all my other Switches that I had were actually the first generation. So I'm kind of glad to get the second generation Switch. I hadn't really, tested out the battery life on it. And, I kind of wanted to get out of this, the whole thing I was wanting to do, with mobile gaming. The COVID hurt me, and having this stole off of me just disheartened. But this this home only switch is kind of what I've been hoping for. That way I don't have to carry around a bunch of tablets, you know. I have everything hooked up to a TV, and that's all it needs, you know. So, kind of like prayers are being answered, you know. But um, if you got if you know something that I don't, I mean, you can leave a comment. But if you got any ideas, I'd like to hear what you got to say. Um, I forgot what I wanted to say about it. Oh yeah, Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild 2 coming out at the same time this Switch comes out. And I'm sure that people, man, they're gonna want to just, oh man, if they ain't never played a Switch, or if they had a Switch and wound up selling it, oh, they're definitely gonna come back to the Switch. That's the thing is, people who was with the Switch during Breath of the Wild and left the Switch, and just to play the Breath of the Wild, will come back to the Switch for a home only console. If that's all they played, the Switch was on TV, then those people come back for Breath of the Wild, and they will stay with the Switch this time. Man, I could see that really happening. And Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is definitely, it's one of those games you want to do mobile, but and it's ideal for the original Switch. Now, I'm surprised they didn't make an Animal Crossing edition Switch Lite, but Pokemon is definitely a Switch mobile game. It's definitely a mobile. I'm not saying you don't play it at home, but back in Game Boy days, it was a mobile game. But Zelda Breath of the Wild is definitely a home only game. If you was gonna play it, you definitely gonna get the best out of it at home. Not saying you can't play it mobile, but y'all know what I'm saying. That it is more designed. Zelda is more designed to be on the screen. So, a Breath of the Wild 2 edition of a Switch Pro or Switch Home, whatever we're gonna call it. Switch Advance. I like that name, Switch Advance. The new Switch. Yeah, I want to know, man. They got to have a good name. A Super Switch? No, not no Super Switch. The Switch U. I wouldn't. I don't know. The Wii Switch. No, the Wii was a brand, and then the U. NES, Nintendo Entertainment, Super NES, Super Nintendo. I could see them use the name Wii, like the Wii U. They would use Switch U, not Wii Switch, but that's just out of my head there. I'm tired, man. I need to go to bed. Oh.